The last ride, Battle Creek. There was no warning of what was to come. One minute Eli was riding through the peaceful countryside. The next he was staring down the barrel of a gun, or at least that's how it felt when he found a bullet lodged in his saddle, a clear warning shot across his bow. Whoever had done this wanted him dead, but they hadn't meant for him to live. But who wanted him dead and why? He knew plenty of people in this town had it out for him, but surely they weren't crazy enough to risk their own lives to take his. Well, maybe one person. The thought sent a chill down his spine. He dismounted, slowly and carefully getting down from the saddle, keeping his eyes sharp and scanning the area for any sign of movement. Nothing. The only sound was the rustling of leaves in the trees lining the road. He holstered his six-shooter, then reached into his chaps and pulled out the bullet. It was a .45, the same caliber as his own gun, but too large to be one of his. Someone had been watching him, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. He could feel their eyes boring into his back, but when he turned, there was no one there. Only the shadow of a tree, distorted and dark against the fiery hues of the setting sun. But the silhouette wasn't the only thing that moved. A slight shifting in the underbrush, the snap of a twig, and then a pair of eyes, glowing like embers in the fading light. Eli stood frozen, his hand tightening around the bullet. The eyes blinked slowly, then vanished as silently as they'd appeared. Who was out here? What was this game they were playing? Was it a trap? His mind raced with questions, but there were no answers to be found in the stillness of the forest. Setting his jaw, Eli got back on his horse. He wasn't going to let fear or curiosity get the better of him. There was nothing to be gained here, only danger. He nudged the horse forward, and they fell into a steady rhythm, the soft thud of hooves on the ground, the whisper of wind through the trees. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and orange. Still no sound, no movement, only the feeling of being watched, of hunted prey being stalked by unseen predators. He rode on, the forest growing darker, the shadows deeper. Then suddenly, a figure stepped out from behind a tree, a gun in hand. Eli's heart pounded against his ribs, his breath catching in his throat. The man raised the gun, his face twisted in a snarl. But before he could pull the trigger, another shot rang out, the bullet grazing the man's arm. He cried out, dropping the gun. Before he could recover, another figure stepped out from the darkness, her eyes flashing in the gloom. "Get away from him," she snapped, her voice echoing in the stillness. The man hesitated, then nodded curtly and melted back into the shadows. Eli stared after him, bewildered. Who was this woman? Why had she come to help him? He didn't know it, but his life was about to change in ways he never imagined. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the forest, Eli continued his journey. The bullet clutched tightly in his hand. He knew he couldn't keep riding through the night. He needed to find somewhere safe to hide, somewhere where he could wait until morning and figure out his next move. Ahead he saw the faint glow of a campfire, a beacon in the darkness. Hope surged through him. Maybe he wasn't alone out here after all. Maybe there were others who could help him, who could protect him from whatever danger lurked in the shadows. He urged his horse forward, the sound of his own breathing the only sound that broke the silence of the night. As he approached the fire, the faces of two men came into view. They were grizzled, their eyes sharp and alert. Eli pulled his horse to a halt. "Can I help you?" one of the men asked, his voice gruff. "I need your help," Eli replied, holding out the bullet. "I was being followed. Someone wants me dead." The men exchanged glances. "Who do you think it is?" "Don't know. Whoever it is, they mean business. I felt like I was being watched the whole ride out here." "We can protect you," the second man said, his tone kind. "Stay with us till morning." And so Eli did. He spent the night around the campfire, sharing stories and smoking cigars. But even as the sun rose and the danger passed, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, hunted, stalked by something dark and dangerous. And as the days passed and the sightings continued, he realized that this feeling was not just a figment of his imagination. He was being followed, and whoever was behind it all was playing a deadly game of cat and mouse.